Well, that's not right. No wonder it threw a belt. What's up guys, my name is Andy. In this video, I gotta replace a part that I broke from my own stupidity or bad decisions, whatever you wanna call it. As you saw, I broke the water pump pulley and I've never seen that before. And I don't know how common that is, but here's what I suspect happened. A little bit while back, I had a problem where the alternator belt was squeaking, and I looked at maybe getting some different pulley sizes, you know, something that was a larger or smaller diameter and have a better V pattern to it. I looked at different belt sizes in terms of not just the length, but also the shape of the V and how skinny it was. And that's what I ended up settling on. I found a belt that fit well, that was fit down inside the groove there on the alternator and the water pump. And I tightened it, but I think I over tightened it. There wasn't hardly any slack in that belt. And, you know, I think I was afraid of having too much slack, was maybe what was a problem I was having before. So I think I over tightened, and I think I put a lot of stress on this water pump pulley, the shape of it, and it broke. In fact, I was heading down the road and heard kind of a squeaky, funny sound, and immediately pulled over and popped the hood, and I could see the water pump pulley kind of vibrating funny. And what I thought in my head is that maybe I had damaged something and I had bent the shaft of the water pump. Well, I was in my neighborhood. I wasn't even maybe a quarter mile from the house, so I just closed the hood and just drove home just to get the car home in case, you know, I'd cause any more damage, get in the house. Well, on the way to the house, the sound stopped. And I thought, if I had bent that shaft, it probably wouldn't stop making that noise. So anyways, I get home and I pop the hood and I look down inside there and there's no belt. There's no belt at all. And I reached down to grab that water pump pulley and I immediately could tell that thing had broken loose there. And so now I know what happened. I suspect what I did wrong. So let's get that that water pump pulley replaced and get this thing fixed. Now, normally what I like to do to get this off is I like to leave the belt on because it holds the water pump pulley in place, and then I can go ahead and loosen up the nuts or the bolts here. But I can't do that because it's just gonna move out of the way. So I wonder if we can try something. We just hold it in place and see if this will work. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of do one at a time that way. There we go. Now we got them loose. All right. That was the hard part. All right, take this guy off. Oh yeah, that's broken. You know, the shaft doesn't feel loose or wobbly. It's kind of hard to tell on camera here, but this thing still feels solid. So I'm gonna cross my fingers that we're okay there. But let's go take a look at that pulley that I took off. You know, I was just gonna move the camera over to the bench, and I was walking away from the car and I saw this sitting here, and this is it's part of the pulley. It was just sitting on the rail here. I thought I lost everything that broke off, but yeah, there's that piece. All right, so you can see where that broke off. And looking at this, I mean, so this is, I don't know if this is the original, so it's gonna be hard to see, but it says C5 CE85098. I believe that this, at least this is an original part, maybe not original to my car, but this is a Ford part. And I just got done, you know, repainting everything, and it's still, I mean, it's not perfect, but I was gonna maybe do something different on the road. Well, now I'm forced to do something different with this. Remember, I was, you know, just spray painted just to clean it up, but it's clearly seen some better days. But I don't remember seeing any cracks in here when I was sanding it down to paint it. So I think it's just coincidental that we were just cleaning up this part when it just now broke. So that's that piece. And then here's the replacement part. You know, it doesn't have the stamp on here that I can find. The same one like this one has it right here. But you know, it looks very similar. This looks like somebody had maybe cleaned this up, or maybe, I don't know, this thing looks brand new. But anyways, it's the same part, same diameter, same bolt pattern. So the important thing is, like, I wanted to keep the same diameter for now because then I'm not have to worry about underdriving or overdriving my components. It's just exactly how it was running before. We're just gonna put a new part in. So it's just that simple. Let's put the new part in. I was just getting ready to slap this on here, and I noticed that the diameter, you know, the center bore here for the shaft and the water pump is it's almost like a paint thickness, too thick. It just won't quite go through there, and I don't want to put a drill bit through there because I don't want to open this thing up too much. I'm gonna take a file and see if we can't take just the edge of that paint off, see if we can get it to fit just a little bit better. All right, just a little bit. Let's see if that fits. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, much better. There, that's what we want. Now we can line this up and put those screws back in. And I'm just gonna go ahead and snug these down a little bit, and then we're gonna put the belt on and use that to fully lock these bolts in place. All right, so now one thing I can do is if I just spin this, if you look, you know, in the camera, this edge isn't wobbling. So that tells me that the shaft of the water pump is still straight. I didn't damage the bearings or anything. I think we're gonna be okay. I think I dodged one on that, but let's go ahead and get the belt on so we can tighten these up. All right, now we can slip the belt on here. I went ahead and loosened up the adjustment that we've got down here. And we'll just slide this over the water pump pulley. It's just a little tight, but that's okay, we can get it. There we go. All right, now just to retighten this up and we'll be set. There we go. All right, now we can tighten up those bolts on the front of the pulley. And this is the advantage of having that belt in place. Now I can go ahead and tighten all these bolts and the pulley won't move. There, everything's tight, everything's good to go. You know, something like this, guys, I don't have a recommendation on how hard you push, because the harder you push, the more it'll deflect, you know, and then it also depends on the distance. You know, if you were to push down here, you'll get different deflection than you will here because of the span of the belt, you know, and even the same thing down here at the bottom. So I'm just gonna leave it like this, see if this is tightened up. If it squeaks, I will tighten it up a little bit more, but I don't wanna ruin this new pulley. So guys, that was just a quick and dirty, you know, replace the pulley. Nothing scientific about it. Something you guys can easily do. It's a self-inflicted problem. This is I suspect it's a product of me over tightening that belt, but also this thing doesn't, I mean, looking at it, it's almost like it had been cracked for a while because there's almost rust down inside this part. It almost looks like it had been a problem for a while. I don't know, I could be completely just wanting it to be that because I don't want to admit to being my problem. But anyways, you know, and I also, you know, I almost bought a set of billet pulleys. You know, there's a lot of nice setups out there that you can match up your crank hub and your alternator, and then if you have air conditioning or power steering. And I may do that stuff down the road, so I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on some billet pulleys that aren't going to match maybe what I want to do later on. So I just settled on buying just that one pulley and getting that put in there. So it's one of those things where you kind of make a call on the fly, and I'm spending twice, right? Because I got to pay for that. Then when I go buy the next set, I got to pay for it again. But I just didn't really want to spend the money on a new pulley set right now. Kind of to figure out what I want to do. So, but anyways, heads up on this, guys. Maybe take a look at your pulley, make sure it's not cracked or something like that, or you don't have that too tight. So, anyways, all right, that's it, guys. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out. And we'll see you in the next one.